Welcome to another spot interview of NeverEndingPanel.com. I swear to God, I'm going to send someone over to slap you both. We are here with Jeremy Lassen, who is the editor-in-chief of Nightshade Books. Did I say that correctly?
You certainly did.
Editor-in-chief sounds good.
Nightshade Books.
Now,
we have a posse.
Yes.
There's a posse. I understand that there's some question as to the definition of what Nightshade Books is. Small press, not small press. What's up with that?
Well, I mean, I don't mean to be a size queen or anything.
No, educate us.
Small press. Traditionally, small press refers to a publisher that focuses on kind of like a narrow niche product. And they may do it really well, reach a wide audience with that. But Nightshade, from the get-go, has always tried to be more of a general publisher that focuses on science fiction and fantasy, but we publish through all the subgenres. We publish a little bit of something for everybody. So I like to call us an independent publisher.
Gotcha. So, and is this becoming a sort of part of the lexicon? Independent publishers necessarily have a wider arc of content, or you're going to be the
no? It's pretty much me being a size queen. I once had a convention programmer say, "Hey, so you're going to be on the small press panel," and I was just like. I threw my little hissy fit where I was just like, I'm kind of uncomfortable being characterized as a small press. Like, you know, I could be on an independent publishing panel, but like a small press panel, I'm
change the name.
And so that's what he did.
Or I walk.
He totally kowtowed to my ego trip.
Excellent.
And he was just like small press and independent publishing panel. And I was just like, ever since that, I've just been like, it works.
And that's
like,
when you realized you're actually...
I mean, damn, it works.
That's when you realize you actually have power and can throw your weight around.
Yeah.
Well, no, when he got the green M&Ms on the table, that's when he realized he had power and could throw his weight around.
But I mean, you know, we started out as a small press.
Right.
And you're always remembered as that thing you were when that person met you. So, you know, if you were that stoner headbanger, like when you were a teenager, the people who met you as a teenager, you'll always be that stoner headbanger, even though you're like a Wall Street executive at this point.
What's he doing being respectable now?
Yeah. And so that's kind of the way it was with Nightshade. You know, a lot of people knew us early on, and they're just like, oh, that's small press. And I'm like, well, we kind of publish as many titles as Bantam, so I kind of think that we're an independent publisher.
Yeah, that's a good line to throw out, too, because
That's
everybody's heard of Bantam,
yeah.
Let's talk about Paolo, whose last name
Bantam.
nobody can pronounce and who had the best
I'm not sure who you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Paolo
somebody.
And what was it on the
Oh,
back?
you mean P-bags.
Is that what they call them?
No, that's only what somebody called him, and Paolo never wanted to be called that again, but I thought this was a perfect opportunity to say.
Don't worry, it's something that
P-bags.
nobody will actually watch.
No, Paolo Bacigalupi.
And I believe one of the blurbs on the back of
Bacigalupi.
Wind Up Girl, which won the Nebula, Mazel Tov. One of the blurbs said, I hate that guy because I can't even pronounce his name, and that's the only hope that I have that he won't overshadow all of us, or something to that effect.
Terry Bisson.
It was brilliant.
Really wonderful quote.
Well, tell us about, you know, how did you come about having such an incredibly talented writer? And by the way, Eitan and I know Paolo, a great guy, such a nice guy. How did he end up with you? Not that, you know, you would think, okay, he was nominated for a Nebula a few years ago. That's where Eitan and I first met, Hugo. Obviously making a lot of rounds. How did you do it, man?
That's actually kind of where it came from, is every time he wrote a short story, he was kind of nominated for an award, a Hugo, a Nebula. He won the Sturgeon Award. He was kind of one of those guys writing short fiction that everybody, you know, the 400 people who pay attention to science fiction, short fiction, you know, was talking about. It's like, this kid's got chops. He's awesome. We really love him. And so I ran into him at the Nebula Award ceremony in Phoenix and got to talking with him, and I was just like, you know, I love your stuff. I'd really love to publish your short fiction collection. And he spent the next 6 months kind of like sniffing around, asking like these Nightshade guys, like, are they
small press?
Yeah, are they small press? Should we, you know? And eventually we cornered him at World Fantasy like 6 months later, and we're just like, so we're gonna do this collection, right? And he was like, yes, okay. But it was a matter of being at the right place at the right time, recognizing, you know, kind of an emerging talent, and kind of trying to get behind him. So we did the short story collection and got enormous publicity behind it.
Right.
For a first book short story collection, we actually got like a 4-minute spot on NPR's Weekend Edition.
Wow.
And like that's kind of unheard of for a collection, much less a science fiction collection.
Exactly.
From a first novel, you know, from a first book kind of thing.
Right.
So we did a good job getting the short fiction collection out there, and I got nominated for a few awards. That was pretty cool. And then as he was shopping his novel, he approaches it, because there was no like long-term understanding. Like we knew he was working on a novel, but it was just like this is this and the novel.
But you've got to figure you've put this book out with his collection. It's gotten a lot of press. That
Did you
there's
ever
going to be
start
other guys
first
out
of
there
all?
saying, okay, he's
No,
you know what,
actually,
we're going to
no.
steal him from Jeremy.
I had to actually. I mean, he has an agent who's
Yeah.
looking out for his best interests,
Right.
and his agent was like, he's pretty hot. He's young, charismatic-looking guy. Like, let's put him out there and like shop him to the New York publishing companies. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, it was right around the time of like I think people call it like Black Wednesday, when like all the publishing houses like fired all of their editors and stuff,
Right.
laid them off. And so he was shopping in a climate of like retrenchment and conservative publishing. And when I heard that it was being shopped, I kind of approached the agent. I was like, "Look, I'd like the opportunity to compete for this book. Like, let me put an offer on the table."
Right.
And eventually, like him and his agent kind of settled and was like, "You know what? You seem to be enthusiastic about this, and you did okay with the collection, so we'll go with you."
Right. Amazing.
And I was just
story.
like, "Ooh, thank goodness."
It's just an amazing story. You almost think did New York not bother reading what he was actually shopping,
No, actually, I think most.
or did they just think it wouldn't sell or wouldn't get?
I think the second. I think most of the editors
Yeah.
who read it or were familiar with Paolo's work were very enthusiastic about it.
Right.
And I think it was just a publishing climate. Like, the editors don't get to publish everything they want. They have to sell it to the higher-ups. They have to sell it to the marketing department. They have to decide, is this going to be more marketable than something else?
Right.
So they weren't able to win those battles in that climate.